We made this.
Songs get stuck in our head all the time. You could be brushing your teeth, sitting at your desk, or just walking down the street, and your brain can throw the most random of tunes at you and they just won't go away. My name is Bryan, and I'm the world's first brain surgeon slash therapist slash jukebox repairman. In this show I sit down and talk to a guest and offer to remove the songs they have in their head that they love, hate, or have no idea why they're there. Aiding me in this mission is a jukebox automated extraction droid that I purchased from Walthamstow Market. Say hello, Jax.
Hello, love.
Warning, this show contains earworms of a highly contagious nature, but if they do get you, we can help.
This is Cerebral Jukebox.
Hello everybody, thank you for downloading Cerebral Jukebox. My name's Carl, happy Christmas time. I hope you're enjoying it wherever you are, especially under these conditions. Christmas special, bit of a double header, 2 guests, never done that before. The reason there's 2 guests is very simple, bit of a booking issue. Mark, who you may remember from episode 2, said he wanted to come on at Christmas and said, I've got a song, I'm not going to tell you what it is, it's going to be a surprise and we'll talk about it when we record the show. I was like, yep, perfect, no problem. Then I went to Lucie, who you're going to hear in the second half of the show, and I said, do you want to come on? She went, yes. I said, oh, what song do you want to do? And she went, oh, I'm going to do Feliz Navidad. And she has a good reason for wanting to do Feliz Navidad. It's like, that's perfect. I just need to go and double check something. Went back to Mark and said, just checking your surprise isn't Feliz Navidad, is it? And in this ultimately thoroughly crushed voice, Mark went, yeah, it's Feliz Navidad, yeah. But we don't let things like that stop us here on Cerebral Jukebox. Double Navidad it is. I'm sure a lot of people know about Feliz Navidad. I'm not going to go into a big back dive on it. Apart from originally it was done by José Feliciano and it was released in 1970, so it is the 50-year anniversary this year of Feliz Navidad. So it's quite good timing on our part there. There's been so many covers of it over the years, I could use any of them as the clip I want to play, just for those who may not have heard it, so I'm going to use my favourite one, which is the one that's been covered by David Hasselhoff.
Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, prospero año y felicidad, Feliz Navidad.
I'm not sorry. Anyway, let's move on to the show. First up, you're going to hear Mark. You may remember Mark, as I said, from episode 2. He is a podcast host with about 4 or 5 different shows on the We Made This podcast network, including Right in the Childhood and Shipwrecked and Comatose, which I am very lucky to be a co-host on. Then we'll move on to Lucie. Lucie's currently working as a trainee forensic psychologist. She'll go into that a little bit, but I've known her a very long time. She's a very interesting, very smart person, and she listens to music pretty much round the clock, so I knew she'd have something for the show. So yeah, let's get right into it. Hello, Mark.
Hello, Carl. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Mark. How are you doing today? You alright?
Well, I'm feeling festive, despite all the shit we've had in 2020. I'm in a good mood. I deliberately ruined the, you know how everyone does that wham thing, where Whamageddon. I deliberately ruined mine on the 1st of December because it's my favourite Christmas song, and balls to that stupid idea, fuck Whamageddon. But other than that, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. It's a good song.
I don't get it. Why would you avoid the best Christmas song?
Right, so it is the Christmas special, and we have a very suitably Christmassy song. Mark, do you want to reveal your choice for today?
Well, despite me going on about Wham, it's not Wham, although I do get that in my head quite a lot. I've got a silly story about Feliz Navidad, which is in my head throughout the entire year, pretty much every morning.
Oh, all right, what? Throughout the entire year?
So, I have a cat, and she is my princess. Her name is Pasha, and she is the best cat, bar none. Don't care what anyone else thinks. And, she's very much set in her way. She's 10 and she knows how to get attention. She knows how to basically manipulate her people into doing what she wants. And every morning, the moment I get out of bed, there's a cat looking at me with big eyes. And these big eyes are basically saying, food? Food now? And so I've tried to teach her that I feed you when I'm ready, not when you're ready. But Pasha is a very, very persistent cat. So if you do anything other than go and feed her as the first thing you do, if you get in the shower, she'll jump in the shower with you. You check your emails on your PC, she will stand on the PC keyboard and look at you with big eyes. You literally can't do anything in the morning until this cat has been fed. So I started saying in the morning, hello, Naggy Pash. Pash being the shortened name that we call the cat, Pasha. And of course, hello, Naggy Pash has the same number of syllables as Feliz Navidad. So it went from hello, Naggy Pash to hello, Naggy Pash. Every single morning. It was such a good idea to begin with. It was funny. I was like, aren't you funny? Singing Feliz Navidad to your cat. And every morning when I'm half asleep, it's like, hello, Naggy Pash. Hello, Naggy Pash. Hello, Naggy Pash. Hello, Naggy Pash. And depending on how awake I am, I will then come up with some lyrics that are obviously in English, not Spanish, about how she's tabby or naughty or pretty or whatever. And this will go on as I continue to feed her. And so, you know, I'm doing the feed. Hello, Naggy Pash. As she's sat there looking at me with the big eyes. Every single morning I get Feliz Navidad in my head.
That isn't where I expected you to go.
Well, that's why I thought that I would tell my ridiculous story, because it is about as ridiculous a story for why you've got an earworm as I think is possible. And so, you know, I'll feed the cat, and then the rest of the day, fuck! Every day I've got Feliz Navidad in my head.
So every day's Christmas.
Every day is Christmas when you've got a cat with big eyes.
That's one that the RSPCA need to put on their adverts at Christmas, isn't it? Every day's Christmas. You've got a cat with big eyes.
But, oh, those eyes are so big. They're so beautiful, and she's so lovely. She's just a bit naggy.
What reaction does... Obviously, you sing this to Pash every morning. Has Pash heard the original Feliz Navidad by any chance?
I don't know. I mean, I will play it to her over Christmas. And I wonder whether my awful singing voice can possibly do the song justice and whether or not she'll recognise it. But, yeah, I will play it over Christmas. But, yeah.
So she has the Pavlov's cat reaction of sort of hearing Feliz Navidad, like, ooh, food.
She's not bright enough. She's a lovely kitty, but she's not a clever kitty. I don't know. She you know, if you like shake a bag of treats, she'll run for that. So maybe I'm doing her a disservice. Maybe she will recognise it.
You want to talk nice about her? She might be listening.
Well, maybe. But if she hears me singing Hello Naggy Pash, she'll run to her food bowl and look at me with big eyes.
Obviously, you've been with Pash you've had Pash for a very long time now.
Yes, I got her when she was 2. She's now 10.
Does she react to music differently with things? So we've got you Feliz Navidad and...
She doesn't like death metal.
Nah.
No, she's not a fan of Rammstein. She looks at me with a, what the fuck, and then walks out. If a music video's got, like, small flappy things in it, she'll kind of be interested then, but I don't think she's particularly interested in music. She just doesn't particularly like rock. And seeing as I like rock, I just get dirty looks, and the cat walks out the room. There was a particular Sparks video recently. I can never remember the name of it. Like, do 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 do. The one that sounds a bit like the Smiler theme from Alton Towers. There's a new Sparks one, and there's like lots of weird stuff going on in that video, and she'll bat that. But I don't think it's the music. I think it's the video.
It's funny you mentioned Sparks, because I had a Sparks song in my head yesterday.
Is it the new one?
No, it's when do I get to sing My Way? Myself and Jax were talking about the now that's what I call music compilations.
Right.
And someone on Spotify has put playlists of nearly all of it.
Brilliant.
So we were revisiting now sort of 20 through 30, which was like the 90s. And yeah, Sparks just crops up on... It's always like the last 2 tracks on the side B of the second tape.
Yeah, that sounds like Sparks.
So, as we say in every episode, we do give you the choice to remove the song from your Cerebral Jukebox, or you can keep it for prosperity. I think I know what you're going to do, but do you want to keep it, Mark?
Yeah. I don't feel like it would be a normal morning anymore without singing to the cat and singing a Spanish song. Well, an English song to what was originally a Spanish song. No, it's mine. I'm keeping it. And I can't imagine on Boxing Day
noticed.
going and saying, "Hello, Pasha," rather than, "Hello, Nagy Pen."
I've noticed actually with this and your first appearance, you making up lyrics to songs that originally aren't in English seems to be your thing.
Shit, that wasn't deliberate. But maybe there is something to it. You'll have to have me on again and see if my next one's a foreign song. It probably will be. Maybe it'll be the Macarena.
I'd be fascinated to see what you turn the Macarena
Or
into.
some Rammstein, maybe. Because, I don't speak German any more than I speak Spanish.
Yeah. Have you tried fitting Pasha's name into any other songs at all?
Of course. Almost every song.
Do Pash.
Mate, that's a good one. No, any song that's in my head, I tend to sing about the cats to the lyrics. Yeah, I'm an odd soul.
Yeah, but a good soul, sir.
Thanks.
Right. So, Mark, thank you very much for coming back on.
You're welcome.
And have yourself a very Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, mate.
Did I send you the link to the online TV channel which is all about cats?
No. That is the Christmas gift that keeps giving.
Hello, Lucie. How you doing?
Hello, Carl. I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. I'm feeling so festive.
Do you want to introduce the song that you've picked today?
Yes. So the song that seems to get stuck in my head no matter what, and even with just like someone mentioning the name, is Feliz Navidad. I don't know any of the words apart from Feliz Navidad, I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. So we just wail that.
When do you remember sort of first coming into sort of hearing Feliz Navidad?
I don't know when I first ever heard it, but I think it started really becoming an earworm problem last Christmas. My housemate is in a relationship with a lady who is half Filipino. I don't know if it's a family song, but for whatever reason, with her being around more, that song seemed to come into this house over Christmas. And we sang it constantly, to the point where a couple of days before New Year's Eve, we were up until 4 a.m. You know, those good old days when you used to be able to go out. Singing Feliz Navidad. There was only 3 of us here. It was just 3 of us. To the point where my neighbour came round the next day and bollocked us and said that we should... he said that all he could hear was that Spanish Christmas song. I was like, oh, oh, I'm really sorry. And then I had to go around later that day because I hadn't yet told him we were going to have a New Year's Eve party. So that went well.
Right.
Yes.
Oh, dear.
Yes.
What do you think it is about? I mean, because you were saying just before we started today that you listen to music all the time, and this... So earworms kind of aren't as often as normal because you're listening to it near constantly.
Yeah.
What is it about Feliz Navidad, do you think, that's just... Is it the sort of the joyous nature of it, or...?
It is a very joyous song. I don't know why it's such a problem for me. But maybe just the sheer frequency with which we sang it last year, it's just become something that it's so like linked with just those two words, and it just immediately in your head goes into that song, and then you find yourself at like the sink or whatever washing up going, I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. And yeah, there's just something about it, and you can wail it apparently very loudly, so as my neighbours found out.
You're the first person to sing the song during the podcast. Well done.
Sorry everyone, I apologise.
I mean, obviously it's a song that, for the most part, is in Spanish.
Yes.
What is it about? I mean, you could speak Spanish, can't you?
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
You have to practice languages to keep them. No, I can. I can. I speak better Italian, but I can do tourist Spanish. I think would be the best way of putting. I can order beer and food, and ask where the beach is.
Of course, beer, food, and sand.
Exactly. What else do you need on the holiday?
What do you think it is about songs in other languages? Like, I don't know what it is, what it means, or anything, but I'm just gonna do it.
I don't know. I suppose there's something quite freeing about not knowing the words. So even if they're super dark, you just don't know. So you can because you can get like a lot of songs which have a really cheerful musical undertone, but the actual meaning is quite nasty. And you're like, ooh, this song is a bit much, really. But I suppose with songs that you don't know the actual meanings of, it's just sort of remains it with its like innocent musical intention. I mean, obviously, Feliz Navidad is going to be a happy song. It's a Christmas song. But I'm a big world music listener. I do love, honestly, particularly Afro beats. And I like quite a lot of music from Senegal, bizarrely, but I don't know, I just find like a lot of music that is world music for me that I really like, it's like really happy beats and it's just really mood-elating music. So I think that's sort of what hooks me in. If it's got a good beat and it gets the endorphins going and it's great for like when you go running or something, that's when I get really into sort of that. I mean, I've been quite obsessed recently with a Afroquois. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. I'm probably not, but they do sort of like African beat music, but I think they're based in London. But it's just such happy music. I don't understand a word any of them saying. I make up the lyrics constantly, but it just makes me happy. After Feliz Navidad.
That's the thing that me and Mark were saying, was that making up the lyrics to the songs to amuse yourself is very enjoyable. Is it fun? Do you think with the songs and songs that have things like call and repeats, do you think they always sort of have that greater level of pleasure because you're interacting a bit more mentally with the song? Or
yeah, I suppose so. I haven't really thought about it in that way. I knew someone who was Brazilian. And I was trying to, because he told me that he could translate Spanish, and I was like, all right then. So I put on some Spanish music, because again, for some unknown reason, I have quite a lot of that on my iPhone. And he literally couldn't translate it. And I was just laughing at him. I was like, yeah, this is all rubbish, all complete rubbish. But I suppose, I don't know, there's something about, I can't really explain it. I like making up my own stuff. So I like to make up my own stories in my head to the songs, or I sort of apply them to seasons or events in my life. And I've always find music generally like becomes like a very specific snapshot of a like point in time for me. And I know that Feliz Navidad will very much sort of be a song that I tie in with knowing Jess, my housemate's girlfriend, and that last Christmas, really. So I think it's sort of like good memories. It's sort of tied to some really good, but also quite messy memories.
Is it your favourite Christmas song?
I mean, I would say yes, just because it's so happy. I don't particularly like Christmas music. I avoid it at all costs.
Even Wham?
Especially Wham. You've got to try and like beat Wham again, haven't you? Last year I went out so early, it was upsetting. I don't really like Christmas music. I usually find it super cheesy, and I don't really like the cheese. Maybe that's why I like Feliz Navidad so much, because I can't translate it. It doesn't seem cheesy to me, so I just think it's quite fun instead.
Now, you said you can speak Italian because you are
Not
Italian.
fluently.
Not fluently. You are Italian, though.
No,
aren't you?
this is a fun story. So my dad's side of the family go very dark in the sun, and they've always maintained that they are. So we all got DNA tests. I'm actually a Viking. I'm a short,
Nice.
dark-haired Viking. And I just died laughing. Viking and Eastern European, apparently. So, yes, that whole Italian myth was very much a myth. Thank you, grandfather.
Okay. I was going to ask if you knew any Italian Christmas songs. Do you know any Viking Christmas songs?
I mean, I could probably try and make one up. No, absolutely not. I don't think anyone deserves to hear me try and do that. So no, I don't know any other Christmas songs really from other countries other than Feliz Navidad, if I'm honest.
Well, what we do tend to do on the show is we do offer to remove the song from your Cerebral Jukebox, or you can keep it for prosperity. Lucie, what would you like to do?
I mean, what does removal entail? You're just going to sing something terrible at me that is going to get it out of my head?
I have an Android assistant called Jax who removes them for me.
Ah, Jax. I mean, can she remove it for me after Christmas?
I'm sure she can.
Okay, I'll keep it for the time being, and then as soon as the new year hits, or, Christmas is finished, Jax is welcome to take it out of my head and keep it for the rest of time.
All right then, Lucie. So, as I offer to all guests at the end, do you have anything you'd like to promote on the internets at all?
I'm quite passionate. This is so bizarre, and I'm taking this down a weird route, but I'm quite
That's
passionate about offender rehabilitation, and there are some wonderful charities that are doing some absolutely fantastic work in preventing abuse and crime through working with ex-offenders to basically reduce their risk factors for reoffending. There's a charity called the Safer Living Foundation who do absolutely amazing work. And it's one of those things where I just think there's such an insane taboo around offenders, but particularly sex offending, which is what the Safer Living Foundation deal with. And I've been in a position where I've actually been able to meet and speak to and learn from a couple of ex-offenders. And I think if everyone had the opportunity, it would change a lot of very negative opinions. And I'd also like to point out that the media conflate everything to the point where it's ridiculous. So yes, I'd just sort of like to promote that because I think that it's not the most obvious route of preventing harm, but it is a very valid one. And from what I know, the charity, it's been operating for about 6 years, and it works with high-risk individuals. And in the 6 years of them doing these circles of support with people who are being released, there's only been one reoffender, which statistically is quite staggering. So yes, I'm going to plug that because it's such a worthy charity.
I will put a link in that into the description for you.
Thank you.
Not a problem. All right, Lucie, thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you very much for having me.
And enjoy the rest of your Christmas.
Yeah, and you too. See you maybe in 2 years.
Maybe. There we go. That was the Cerebral Jukebox Christmas special. I do hope you enjoyed it. It was really good fun to do. It was lovely catching up with Lucie. It's one of my favourite things about doing this show is I get to catch up with people I may not have spoken to in quite a while. And it's always good to talk to Mark as well. Couple of quick bits about the next episode. It's going to be on Sunday the 3rd of January 2021. We might even be able to go outside and you can listen to it as you're wandering around. It's going to be with Stephen Cummins, who is the host of the Play Your Pods Right podcast, talking about game shows from over the years. It is well worth checking out. My favourite episodes on there coincidentally have Mark on, where he's talking about the kids show Nightmare and also Cluedo the TV series, which was a personal favourite of mine growing up. So yeah, he's going to be on and he's going to be talking about a 90s classic, which is Two Princes by the Spin Doctors. So it's well worth checking that out. I just want to say, everyone have a lovely Christmas and a very happy New Year. You all stay safe, you all enjoy it as much as you can, and remember, eat as many matchmakers as possible. Jax, have you got anything you want to say?
Merry Christmas, everyone.
See you next year. Thank you for downloading Cerebral Jukebox. Please don't forget to give us a like, a subscribe or a review, be it at
Spotify, Apple, Google,
or wherever you get your podcasts. If you're interested in a bit more, we've got Spotify and YouTube playlists and our socials all over at Linktree, so you just need to go to linktr.ee/Cerebral Jukebox. Do stay tuned to hear about more shows on the We Made This podcast network, but until then, my name's Carl Bryan, this has been Jax,
Bye!
and we'll see you next time.
Elsewhere on We Made This. Back to the decade.
We could kind of use this to get into a broader conversation about horror movies in general, since it is October.
Yeah.
For the first time ever, the past couple of days, I watched the Alien trilogy.
Oh my god. First time?
I had never seen any of the Alien movies.
What the fuck, man? Yeah, dude.
I couldn't tell you why, but it was just something that always escaped me. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna watch the Alien movies, and
oh, so good.
They're really good. They're really good.
Don't say the C word.
So you think visibility is very important?
Yeah, definitely. I think like getting the representation out there, and I always sort of understand more through TV. Like I learn a lot through TV and film, and seeing yourself on there is very detrimental, which is why I sort of see the importance now of people saying like, you know, when people don't see themselves in there, so like if there's not LGBT or race representation on screen, you do feel a bit bummed out, and I think that's why it's really important. Like I'm just getting all happy over like Todd Jughead in the comics and all this, but then like it sort of helped me understand the importance of that for everyone really.
Free with this month's issue.
I was thinking it sounds quite a lot like when you go shopping at Glastonbury, you're like, I'm just going to walk through all the stalls and stuff.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Also, it sounds exactly like when you go visit your mate and he's just started smoking weed. It's like, dude, I've started smoking weed now. Come round my house. And you just come there and he's got his bong, and this is what his room sounds like.
But I don't. But this is what my room sounds like sometimes.
So you are the exception that proves the rule, Colin. You are an anomaly.
Good.
Check out all of these shows and more on the We Made This podcast network.